Hello there folks, it's me Ferengi on board again with another video, this time about my video game. I'm actually surprised I'm gonna throw another video very soon. The point of this video is to showcase my recent success. After so long, I finally feel that I'm getting to the point that I actually want to achieve. It's been a month almost, or probably a bit beyond a month, that I've been working towards this stress test part of my video game, and since I'm always naming everything in my video game, like whatever I'm going to work towards will be like a little chapter, I will give them different names, and this stress testing was actually called pulling my hair because it actually was kind of annoying, and I'm actually happy I got through most of it, like the let's say harder parts. I have taken a long time to create this timer system. Well, this is actually a plugin that I'm using, Mog's timer plugin, but not necessarily this. I've got a variable that tracks the timer, so usually this timer is something that I use only as a filler. In the background I already have a timer of my own that I took so long to create. As you can see, the students are finally popping up at the right times. Unfortunately, the AI of some of them is still in a loop. I didn't get to fix each and every one's AI, but I managed to fix the lag issues. I unfortunately added some students for which I actually made I didn't make a good use of their how to call it, oh yes, their the advanced AI pathfinding system that the game has. I actually exploited it very hard. I made it actually seek ways longer than they normally should have. Yeah, and unfortunately there is still something that there's still some desynchronizations, unfortunately. I love that these guys actually got stuck. Okay, so these guys are synchronized. These characters have to trigger their own AI. Basically these two guys spawn in a certain place. This one waits for the others. When this one reaches here, he shows a heart, the other one shows a heart above their head, and 2 seconds later this third character actually spawns, and for some reason the game still spikes. I really don't understand why. So there are a few synchronizations that I have to work on. It's not final, like there will be characters who will be meeting around some of these tables at different times of the day, like these three in here whom I wrote the codes recently, and code actually the command lines correctly, and they actually meet. These ones, the three ones here, would actually meet, but for some reason they no longer meet because there's a desynchronization happening. Basically some of the students perform one of the things that they can actually perform in order to make the game a bit more complex. As I said, I want this game to be the most complex RPG Maker game. So some of the students actually will end up doing one of the more things that they can do, and there's a variable that will decide on that. Yeah, I know some characters will actually still move in a loop, so yeah, don't mind about that for now. This character is definitely not moving over a wall. That camera didn't record anything suspicious. Okay, so yeah, I still find this very funny. Some of the characters, usually the first ones that I created, they had an AI idea that I came up with. I really liked it, but unfortunately I didn't realize it could actually end up in an endless loop. I really love that finally after 3 weeks this clock image here actually changes at the right time in here. This timer itself has no impact on it, it's just a visual fluff. Okay, so the tab wouldn't appear. Okay, so students will just move around now, and there are like 40 of them, and I'm happy that they have spawned. And okay, so none of them reached here. So some of the first students, especially those who have multiple ways, multiple things that they can do, and only one of those paths is chosen at the beginning of each day. The point is that that point was how to call it, it was decided when each of the characters would spawn, because there was a time when all the students would spawn at the same time, but now they spawn at different times, so that there's no longer that very almost unbearable spike, because the characters had to spawn, they had to be transported there, their coding had to be injected into them because they're taken through a plugin from somewhere else, and basically there was a lot to do, so now they spawn at different times. And yes, at 8 o'clock the song changes, the soundtrack changes. It will also change per character. This clock here will be only available to Ayano. Yes, another one is actually going it's going on awkward things. I know this one is actually yeah, I know, endless loops. I actually like that. I'm working on the appearance for Miyumi's clock. For some reason there are still things that I need to solve, like this guy. For some reason they should end up here, but I really don't understand why they end up there. Like, I checked up their movement commands, and for some reason they should be here, but they end up there. It's something that I have to check consistently, and I will have to go through each and every one's coding again and again. Now the point is that I have moved the randomizer for the AI of the characters in the event that spawns them, and unfortunately I didn't get to delete that from some of the characters, so they will make that choice twice, hence why some characters will move in a loop, because they theoretically should be waiting for someone, but unfortunately well, that person might not come because, well, desynchronization happens. I added extra cameras around here. Oh, someone's actually going to class. Ooh, I'm actually impressed. I'm actually impressed they are going to class. Okay. I actually added some signs like this because the player can actually move below them to give a more Japanese-like feel. I added several cameras here and there. I gave them the functionality. I added class names to show which class is which when players actually need it. Yes, and the timer usually changes every 15 minutes, but for now it's only up till 8:30. I mean, actually it's a quarter after 8, because I was almost desperate to see if the timer actually changes back then, and I will actually add all the possible clock pictures. I created clock pictures for all the possible hours of the day, like every 15 minutes. It's around 50 of these. They will cycle through when the time is right. Basically, there's a lot of work that I have to do towards the game, and I'm actually happy how it ended up as. I added some signs in here to help people understand which class is where in case they need. This is class 1-1, because that's how classes are actually how they are counted in Japan. This camera doesn't work because it's only a picture for now, it's not an event. I ran out of the event, I ran over the event limit. You can only have 999 events per map, so yeah, many people said that it's almost impossible to use 999 event slots, and well, unfortunately they haven't met me, because I still could use like a few thousand more, but unfortunately you have to go against the hard-coded limits. There is a way I can deal with that, but it's gonna take a really long time, so I will not invest in that anytime soon. For the moment I will start working on the upper levels, because I will break the big map into 3 separate maps so that I have more control over. I really love this plugin from Fly, I think, that allows me to um, quickly look for characters that I need. And I don't know if this will make it to the final game. I think it actually will. Um, these events, like students who belong to a certain club, they will have an icon like this above their heads, just like the students back here in the left had. You know, the ones stuck in the walls. They actually show that they belong to a club. Some students belong to multiple clubs, so the main club will be shown above their heads, like science club, science club, science club, for example. There are so many characters that actually are awkward right now because they don't have a complete coding, and I'm still going to work towards that. But for the moment I'm gonna work hard towards the higher floors because those actually need my attention for now. I've been talking to someone who's willing to create a video about a system called Tiled D and how I can learn and use it. I have made this fence available to walk behind it so that finally people actually have more than 1 square in width to actually move through here. And also this platform here, this part here wasn't some while ago, and I decided to extend on it so that students have as much. Wait, this is, I've met this thing before for some reason. It needs to be addressed. So this case I really don't understand why the heck it actually appears. I'll have to see again. Wait, I think I know why it actually appears. Let me check one thing. So you can't move through there, fortunately. Okay, so the reason why that appears is mostly because of the tile sets that there are. RPG Maker supports 3 tiles one over the other, so it was in here. I need to delete these tiles, and I have to see, let's see. I don't need to add a fence actually there because there's no need for it. It's not gonna be seeable anyways. I'm gonna add this part anyways. So that's kind of it. The only thing that I needed to put. Almost having 1500 hours in this platform, I feel happy that I can actually solve most of the problems. So this being said, I really like what direction my game is having. For the moment I use these to actually pinpoint the students. They actually had a range of 100, but now they only have 20. So I thought they were laggy, but they weren't the ones who caused the immense lag that I was going through. Actually it was the pathfinding that for some of the students I made very rough. It had to seek a path that was like even 50 squares away, and that most likely ended up in a great deal of lag. Now I really don't understand why these characters actually stay stuck in here. They should have started going towards class at a certain time, like 8:07 I think. Each student will go to class at a certain time. That's something that I will actually take into account more seriously when I'm really gonna dive into the AI of the characters. Now what can I say is I'm really glad that I've done so much. I feel I need to take a little bit of a break from this beautiful game. I will still keep working on it, of course, but I have left some things unattended, and I also have to take that into account. So there's a lot of things to take into account for the future. I'll keep you posted when I have something great to show you. Until next time, Ferenc on board signing out.